Alright guys, this is Steering Wheel Holder coming back at you guys again with another video. There's a lot of people making videos about night transportation and swift transportation merging together. I know James just did a video about it. I watched it, it's a pretty good video. Just to kind of pick off what he's going off and some other individuals that are making YouTube videos about. Okay. If night transportation and night merged last year, the company would have reported about $6 billion. Okay. If they would have merged last year. So we're talking about a lot of money here. These two are going to merge together. You know, my understanding with reading is 23,000 trucks, 77 plus thousand trailers, several terminals that they're going to merge together, a lot of Canadian, Mexico border crossings, so forth. They got 28,000 employees. They're the top 5 truckload in dry van, refrigerated, dedicated, cross-border Mexico and Canada, like I said, and significant presence in the brokerage. Now, that's a big thing right there, brokerage, and intermodal, okay? So they got their hands in everything. So, what does this mean? Well, it's kind of a weird deal because why haven't they merged? Why did they not merge last year? Why did they not merge 8-10 years ago? Why? Because there's a connection together. They're I do believe they're related somehow. The Swift owner and the night transportation owner are related, or they're family friends, or they go back, whatever. Okay. My understanding is Mr. Knight worked for Swift Transportation as a corporate guy, and he left the company back in 1990 to form Night Transportation. Okay. It's built up over the last 26, 27 years now. It's become a very big, popular company. I do believe they're debt-free. And to kind of add on this, they've also bought up other small trucking companies that might have 1,000 trucks or less. That's another thing you guys got to account for. Night Transportation probably owns several other companies that are not involved with Night Transportation. They're just separate legal entities that they own. Okay, Swift Transportation might own other companies that are not even have the same name, just different. They've just bought up small carriers. You know, like maybe 1,000 or less trucks. Bought up their trucks, trailers, bought their whole business, their contracts, so forth. Okay. It's what I'm trying to say. Why it didn't happen, you know, last year, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. It's because Donald Trump. Okay, this is a monopoly system here. We have laws in place to keep monopolization stopped. I think last year or so, Comcast or Xfinity tried to buy Time Warner. They tried to merge together. Time Warner and Comcast tried to merge together. Congress, or I do believe Congress, they stopped that, or something happened with that. It failed. Okay. Why it's happening now? Well, we got a pro-corporate president, Donald Trump. Okay? He believes in the whole monopolized system, okay? Now, that's the reason why it's going to go through. It's going to get passed. Then we'll have a $6 billion industry already right there. They're going to be the biggest truckload carrier in the United States, North America, and South America. Okay? Now, FedEx, you know, they're on their own league there. There's a lot of companies with FedEx, to James' point. They have so much fucking freight that they have to outsource their freight to other companies, small carriers like, let's say, Ozark Motor Line out of Memphis. They do a lot of FedEx. You'll have other companies, small carriers, owner-operators that will lease on to FedEx. They have so much freight, they have to broker out that freight or contract out that freight to smaller carriers and so forth. Now, 90% of all carriers are small carriers. Then you got 10% of the big boy carriers. Okay? This is an attack on small carriers in the sense that they're going to eat up some freight. There's tons of freight out here. I don't see how they're going to really starve out Warner, CR England, Prime, and stuff like that. What I can say they will do is the race to the bottom. I'll suck you clean for $1, and they'll broker out shitloads and so forth on their brokerage side. They'll do that. I think the biggest attack is from these big companies being part of an association called American Truckload Association. Okay, you can look them up. They talk all the time on Road Dogg on Sirius XM Radio. If you have that, you'll hear a guy that works for them that company drivers, this is a quote, company drivers make too much money now. Okay? Now, you could have company drivers, if you have been a company driver or not. I haven't been a company driver. I've drove for our family business. I don't drive anymore. I'm behind the desk. But I have been behind the wheel, and I know how it is. Okay, let's just say that. We own a small trucking company. The deal is this. They're going to merge together with the 23,000 trucks. There's a whole debate and whole movement of technology called autonomous trucks, driverless trucks, okay? I assume Swift Transportation, I could say almost 100% that they're self-insured. Okay, they don't have an insurance company, they're just self-insured. Maybe Knight Transportation also is self-insured as well. Okay? So you get those 22,000 trucks, 23,000 trucks, right? Who says they don't start putting in driverless technology? Okay? There's one company saying by the end of the year, they won't need to have a driver behind the wheel. Okay? And then somehow they're going to have a remote control base back at the terminal with the, a seat and a computer and stuff like that, and they're going to drive the truck when it gets off the interstate. Okay? Let's see how that works when somebody hacks into the system and takes control of the vehicle and slams it into people or buildings. We'll see how far that works, okay? But let's just say this, that they do the whole driverless vehicle thing, and they actually have a person behind the wheel. Now, we know Swift Transportation is cheap labor. Okay, period. Cheap labor. Now, you talk trash about the newbies and stuff like that, but you can blame that on the trainers, you can blame it on the company, okay? Let's say they get them behind the wheel. Okay, here's 20 cents a mile. There you go. All right? They could do that. They could cut the pay. It's already low. They could cut it, pay more, or not have a driver at all. But they could just move towards just having the driver just sit there and ride with it on the interstate, cut his pay, and then eventually, in years to come, get rid of him all the way. Get rid of him, period. Okay? And that goes back to the American Trucking Association. They say company drivers and owner-operators that are leased on the carriers make too much money now. Okay. We can go back to 1999. Okay? And let's say 25 cents a mile. And we know back then, there's some old-timers that will say this. They ran 3,000 to 3,500 miles solo. Okay? We're talking about 9 1/4 right there. We got guys on YouTube bragging about $1,000 paycheck. The pay hasn't went up at all. What has happened is, yeah, on paper the fucking pay went up, but the mileage went way down. Okay? It was cut in half or cut by 60%. Okay, let's just say that. That's not facts. This is kind of spitballing, but it's kind of around the area of that. And you can blame American Truck Association that these big carriers are all part of on every type of safety fucking thing you can think of. E-logs, American Truck Association. Speed limiters, American Truck Association. Greasing the dicks of the Congress and the Senate and the fucking White House. Okay? You can fucking blame the American Truckload Association on other future fucking safety equipment that they're looking to throw on trucks and force everyone to fucking have, which is speed limiters. I can't think of the technology, but it fucking slows down the truck, okay? You get behind somebody and they reduce their speed, fucking drops you down. The shit that beeps when you fucking get out of the lane a little bit, you're riding the yellow lane a lot. That equipment, any other type of equipment, you could say inward, outward facing cameras, you can fucking blame the American Truck Association on that because they're greasing the dicks of every fucking body at the Congress. Also, another thing, I can't think of it as trailers. I think they want to go up to 63 foot on triples and stuff, like FedEx wants to do that and stuff. They're against that because it gets in their fucking pocket, okay? So if you go on American Truck Association and read what the fuck they go for, it's all for the big mega companies that are truckload carriers. They attack the LTL carriers and small carriers, okay? To get back to the merger, they're going to merge together and they're going to call it Knight Swift Holdings Company, okay? Now, I go back to the part about there's a YouTube guy who's we'll call it executive, okay? We'll just call him that because I don't want to name his name. He's a fucking faggot. He'll get all butthurt, okay? And I talked about how he didn't legally separate his company from his other company, right? He still won't do the video explaining how he set up his company and all that. Well, here you go. Now, this is big boy fucking company, okay, that's been in trucking and transportation and logistics since 1993. And I know the Knight guy's been involved in it for a fucking long time. Okay? These guys have been involved in trucking, before this particular executive was scratching his daddy's fucking pants. Okay? Knight Transportation and their other companies they own, the small carriers they own, will be separate. They'll have their own entity. Same thing with Swift Transportation. They'll carry their own name, own separate legal entity, all their other shit that they own. But they'll have this big holding company, and I assume how they'll set it up is a MLP, a Master Liability Partnership. Okay? Google this, look this up, Wikipedia, whatever. That whole setup with that MLP is this. A lot of those companies get involved in that type of setup and structure is energy companies, transportation companies, big ag, okay? And it's a way they could file taxes all together under that that Master Liability Partnership through all the companies that they own. Okay? Like Knight, Swift, ABC Trucking. There's several companies that they both own and their brokerage, and they'll file one big fucking tax return and they won't pay federal income tax. There's some kind of law in our fucking setup in our tax code that if you have an MLP, a Master Liability Partnership, that you fucking wipe out paying federal income tax. Okay? Stocks are going to go up. I assume they're going to go up to $100+. More fucking money than they've been selling for the last several years. Okay? You know, we're talking to $6 billion a year happening here. And now there's debate. There's kind of conflicting stories on stuff about, Swift bought out Knight. Knight bought out Swift, okay? I've kind of read the articles, but I'm just going to say this. On paper, they're going to say Knight bought fucking Swift so they can report a huge fucking loss for fucking many years. And, or not, they'll just do what the fuck I just said with the Master Liability Company, Master Liability Partnership, and not pay any fucking taxes at all, and who gives a fuck who bought who out. but they're still merging together. It's just a big deal. They're going to be one of the biggest truckload carriers in the country. Now, driver pay, like I said, it's going to go down. It's not going to go up. They don't give a fuck. They're going to line the pockets of their board members, chair members, executives, and everybody else, but the truckers and the other workers who work for them. Okay. Do I think that Swift and Knight together are going to really take out a lot of businesses that James named? I don't know. It's like there's a story I heard from a big trucking company and brokerage out of Canada. His name is, I can't think of his first name, Chuck Snow, okay? He tells a story about how back in the 90s that Canadian truckers were getting paid like $2 a mile coming out of Toronto and Canada going to United States crossing. Snyder came in, put up a bunch of billboards and stuff like that, 80 cents for crossing from Canada into United States. Totally fucking undercut everybody, and it was a race to the bottom. And that's what it's going to be. You'll have, like, for instance, Prime and Martin Transportation. Okay? And Jacob the Trucker, he had an account where he was doing Walmart. Okay? Guess who undercut Prime? Martin Transportation outbeat him on the contract. That's what it's going to be. With especially with Dry Van. And now, I don't know how many reefer trailers they own, but it could be more than the biggest one. The biggest reefer, is CR England, right? No, I don't know. You put a comment about them, fuck it. But as far as Dry Van, oh boy. That's going to be a total undercutting for the big dry van carriers like J.B. Hunt and Snyder and so forth. Do I think those companies are going out of business? No. I just think it's going to put high-pressure situations on them where they're really going to have to compete for other deals, I know Martin Transportation, they have left contracts because of detention pay and so forth. Then all of a sudden their fucking ex-customer calls them up begging them to come back, and they'll just pay the detention pay. You're going to have to get, you want value, or you don't want value. Okay? Like the Martin Transportation deal that they talk about with that whole scenario. You can go to fine wine dining, or you can go eat at McDonald's. And that's what I'm going to call Knight Transportation and Swift. That's McDonald's. Fast food chain. Or you can go eat at a fine dining. Okay? You want your freight there brought there safely and on time. That's up to you. And also another thing on James. This is what they're going to do. It's like old-time trucking back in the day. Let's say one guy will drive the truck, say north for 300 miles, who'll meet at a truck stop or a terminal from another trucker that's going down south, and they'll just swap loads and do that. That's what they're going to start doing. And that's attack on the smaller carriers that don't have all the trailers and all that stuff. So the chances of small carriers getting these type of contracts are going to be very tight. Defined. You're going to have to work with small shippers and stuff like that. You're going to have to really find small ball fucking shippers to get a contract. And you're just going to have your costs very low. Ownership is going to be a big fucking deal in the near future. But you can blame big boy companies and American Truckload Association, which is basically all big boy carriers together, lobbying lobbying the Congress and our fucking paid off whores in Washington D.C. Okay, but it is kind of funny that these two are merging when they have such a huge history together. I think it's all because of Donald Trump, and that's my opinion on that. I might do a part 2 because there's so much to talk about. But it is a big deal. Swift is really known as a cheap labor company. So, part 2 might be coming. Alright? Thanks for watching.